Today I want to talk about something that I think really matters to people who probably are selling for sale by owner. Maybe they are also expired, or maybe you're an agent and you're trying to get your property sold so that you don't have an angry tenant or angry person who's just like, why hasn't the house sold? Uh, I've been waiting and we've been doing all this. So I'm going to talk a little bit about something that is researched very heavily. And it is, excuse me, it is where buyers are finding homes. And NAR does a study on this. They do their research on exactly, you know, all aspects of the home buying process. But I'm going to talk specifically about a small section, and this is a section about where they are finding homes and where they start. Because a lot of people right now don't know where to start with all the stuff that's going on in the news. People are wondering how the process of home buying will change and if it will change. A lot of people have said, especially people who have been in the industry for a while, that on average we've just seen trends, and trends tend to, manage how we affect the home buying process. But those trends are not necessarily something that are going to stick around. I think we're going to see a lot of changes, and the more information you have, the better you're able to make a decision. So let's talk about what happened in 2023. And I want to talk first about what the data talks in this section. And this is section Exhibit 3.1. It is the first steps taken in the home buying process. So the first step, they do it actually by age. I'm not going to talk about the ages. I'm just going to talk about all the buyers. Because, if you're going to sell your home, you want to have reach and exposure to as many buyers as possible, because that drives up demand and that makes the house sell for the most amount of money possible. So where they start is that they start looking for homes online. And I'm sure you know this. You're probably looking at homes all the time online. And this is 47% of people started the process by just looking. And you might be thinking, why should I care about that? Well, the problem is if you are somebody who, you know, has ever been to a store, right? And somebody comes in and they're like, "Oh, I'm just looking," or you're in a place where you're wondering, are people ready to deal with the process? Are you able to pay, basically? And this is a problem that a lot of for sale by owners have, and other agents also as well. People that open houses wonder, oh, people are just coming in, they're just looking. And that's okay, because not everyone is always ready. And sometimes how your offer comes in is that it comes in contingent on the sale of another property, because that person was just looking and they were waiting for you to come on the market. And once you have that maximum exposure, you're able to move forward and get that offer. And you never even knew that maybe the neighbor next door would have bought your property or told their mom about it and invited, a strong offer to you had you not marketed it to all the buyers. So that is 47%. And this is a percentage distribution so that it's going to all add up to be 100%. So don't be like, what? That doesn't add up. So the next thing that 18% of buyers did as their first step was that they contacted a real estate agent. So if you're going to market your home, you're going to have to market it to other agents who are going to take that buyer who's qualified and is taking that first step and also market your home to them and invite them to write an offer. What we also want to talk about is that some people are informational people. So even when you go and if you work in any industry, you probably know this, that sometimes people are reaching out for information and they don't have enough information to make the step that they need, and that's okay. And so even though that is, a part of the process, a lot of people, 8% and 9%, they start out with information searching. And the 8% start out with just information about the home buying process, and the other 9% are starting out with information from their lender. So you should definitely keep that in mind if you're selling for sale by owner. If people are looking for information, they may just, be contacting you. But also, if you are contacting people and you're trying to sell your home and they haven't talked to a lender yet, only 9% of people are doing that as a first step. So definitely always ask people if they have the funds available to buy your home. And if they're in the process, like, where are they? Do they need more information before they can make a decision? And what we do after that is that 7% are talking to a friend or a relative about the process. So, I mean, everything else I'm going to discuss here is very quick. It's all under 5%. And 5% just drove by the house, and that was their first step in finding a house. And then beyond that, 2% contacted a home seller. That's a key piece of information if you are trying to sell for sale by owner, because if only 2% of people are doing that as their first step, that should tell you about the visibility and the initial attraction of a property and who's really going to reach out, and what they're doing first, because they're going to see your sign, but then they're going to do all these other things. So 2% of people did see the sign, and that was their first step. But in most likelihood, they had to go and find the information about the home buying process. And they probably went and got an agent so they'd be represented. And lastly, they probably talked to maybe a mortgage lender, and they're going to definitely talk to a friend or a family person, or a coworker, and they will definitely drive around the neighborhood and they'll compare your home, even though they may have reached out to a sale by owner first. And this is kind of something that I think affects the timeline of how homes sell. Because if you have somebody who's initially starting out with a home seller, they may not know enough about the process to take action in time. And then when they figure it out, they might not qualify. And that's just something that they're gonna have to wait on. So 2%, simply we're just looking at information on neighborhoods or areas, and then 1% visited an open house. Less than 1% are contacting builders, less than 1% are attending a home buying seminar, and less than 1% are looking at newspapers, magazines, or any home buying guides. Less than 1% are reading books about how to sell a home and that kind of thing. And less than 1% are doing, or roughly 1% of people are doing other. So whatever we think other is, I'm not sure, but you can definitely look at any other options. So if you know any, please comment, let me know what you think other could be. So now let's look at the information on what information sources are home buyers looking at. 86% of home buyers are getting the information directly from a real estate agent. And that's very significant. So beyond that, we have 73% of people looking at something on a mobile device, and then 40% are looking at videos and watching online videos, or like maybe YouTube, because YouTube actually is the second most visited website like in the world. And so if you're going to market something, you probably should market it on YouTube. And 39% of people are doing a yard sign as the information source. And that might be somebody calling the office at a brokerage if it's a house listed with an agent, or they might be calling the for sale by owner. 28% of people are getting information from an open house, and they use that as an information source. 9% went through a home builder. 12% did print newspaper advertising as an information source. 7% did home book or magazine as an information source. 2% did a billboard, and 2% were on television, and then 2% used an actual relocation company. So these are all tips that you can apply if you want to reach the most amount of people as well. Or you can decide that, hey, I want to make sure the majority of my marketing dollars go into the thing that's going to result in the most amount of eyes seen. So if you want to take this information and apply it, definitely apply it to how you market your property. So now, where are buyers finding the home they purchased? 51% of buyers found the home they actually purchased in 2023 on the internet. And that's just where they found it. Does it mean like you don't need an agent? No, because 29% of people went and got an agent, and that's how they found the home. The agent sent it to them. 10% it was sent to them by a friend, a relative, or a neighbor. 5% already knew the seller, and they reached out to the seller directly. 4% saw a yard sign or open house sign. 1% went to a home builder or their agent. And then when it comes to print newspaper advertising, less than 1%. When it comes to home book or magazine, less than 1%. And other, again, comment and let me know what you think other could be. And if you have any questions about the home buying process or selling your home in your county or Hampton Roads, Newport News, and Hampton, I work with Berkshire Hathaway. We're a local office in Newport News, Oyster Point. Please give me a call or recommend me to anybody that you know wants to buy a house or an investment property. I also work as a featured agent with BiggerPockets. So when you come to somebody like me, you know, I have some connections when it comes to buying investment properties and all the resources you might need, builders, all that kind of thing. So please reach out to me and let me know what you want to do. If you are interested in buying or selling a home, you can hit me up. Thanks.